But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. Matith Yahu 15 and 9, also known as Matthew. Celebrating New Year's can be predated to the times of Babylon before 2000 BC. Some research suggests before 4000 BC. The fact that the origins are in Babylon culture should be enough to deter you from partaking in this day. But let's go deeper in this day. Even in the time of Babylon, they celebrated New Year's closer to the biblical proper time of New Year. Mid-March, some research says during the vernal equinox, others say after the vernal equinox on the first new moon. This would be an 11-day festival. They celebrated the victory of god Marduk over the evil sea goddess Tiamat. This celebration served also a political purpose. It was the time they would crown a new king, or the current ruler's divine mandate was symbolically renewed. So the first Roman calendar had 10 months and consisted of only 304 days, with the new year beginning on the vernal equinox. It was created by Romulus, the founder of Rome. In the 8th century, King Numa Pompilius is the one who added Januarius and Februarius. Over the centuries, the calendar fell out of sync with the sun. So in 46 BC, Julius Caesar added 104 days to align the Roman calendar with the sun, which became the Julian calendar, which is more closely resembled to our today's Gregorian calendar. Julius Caesar is the one who declared January 1st the new year. One reason was to honor the Roman god Janus, which was the Roman god of new beginnings. Supposedly, his two faces allowed him to look back in the past and look forward to the future. So, pausing with the history, this is exactly what we are doing when we do our so-called New Year's resolutions, which is rooted in this false deity and even rooted in Babylonian false deities. So let's look at what the word says. If we go to James or Yaakov 4:14 through 17, it says, "Whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow, for what is your life? It is even a vapor that appears for a little time and then vanishes away. For that ye ought to say, if Yah will, we shall live and do this or that. But now ye rejoice in your boastings. All such rejoicing is evil. Therefore, to him that knows to do good and does it not, to him it is sin." So once the truth has been spoken and you don't do it, it is now sin to you. The Most High, let's talk about the Most High's beginning of months. In Exodus 12:2, it says, "This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you." And then I'm going to go to Deuteronomy 16:1. It says, "Guard the month of Aviv," which y'all know as Abib, "and keep the Pesach," which is Passover, "unto Yahuwah Elohaka. For in the month of Aviv, Yahuwah Elohaka brought you forth out of Mitzrayim by night." And it says in Numbers 28:16, "And in the 14th day of the first month is the Pesach of Yahuwah." So if people were like, well, how do we know that's the first month that you're referring to? It says it in Numbers. So when we keep the feast of what we call unleavened bread, or the feast of matzah, that's in the Passover, that's the first month. So it's important that we realize Abib is the first month and we honor it accordingly, because the Most High's calendar is where the actual signs and seasons come from. But if we look at the Gregorian calendar or other calendars, it is going to lead us astray. So I'm going to go into Jubilees, and it says in Jubilees 6:23, and on the new moon of the first month, and on the new moon of the fourth month, and on the new moon of the seventh month, and on the new moon of the 10th month are the days of remembrance, and the days of the seasons, and the fourth divisions of the year. These are written and ordained as a testimony forever. So, like I just said, these are ordained and written as a testimony forever. So, following the Most High's calendar leads you in the proper times and seasons. But if you go following after any worldly calendar, it will lead you astray from that. And I want to talk about kind of how we've already been led astray. In Jubilees, this is going to be in chapter 6, verses 34 through 38. It says, and all the children of Yisrael will forget and will not find the path of the years, and will forget the new moons and seasons and Shabbaoth, and they will go wrong as to all the order of the years. For I know, and from henceforth will I declare it unto you, and it is not of my own devising, for the Sefer lies written before me, and on the heavenly tablets the division of days is ordained, lest they forget the feast of the covenant, and walk according to the feast of other nations after their error and after their ignorance. For there will be those who will assuredly make observations of the moon, how it disturbs the seasons, and comes in from year to year 10 days too soon. For this reason the years will come upon them when they will disturb the order, and make an abominable day the day of testimony, and an unclean day a feast day. And they will confound all the days, the holy with the unclean, and the unclean day with the holy. And they will go wrong as the months, and Shabbaoths, and feasts, and jubilees. For this reason I command and testify to you, that you may testify to them. For after your death your children will disturb them. So they will not make the year 364 days only, and for this reason they will go wrong as to the new moons and seasons and Shabbaoths and feast, and they will eat all kinds of blood with all kinds of flesh. And that has already been done. If you are new to keeping the commandments of the Most High, you will see that there's a lot of division as to when to keep the feast days, as to when to keep the Sabbath, as to when to keep the new moon. There is a lot of division because the times and the ordinances have been changed. We have been going by a Gregorian calendar. And if you are waking up to who you are as a Ivri or a Hebrew, then it's very overwhelming. And I would just say, seek the Most High, because He is the one who can give us our understanding. But to all my people listening to this who are keeping these pagan holidays and feast days, we have to come out of that. Because as long as we are partaking in the Babylonian calendars and not living according to the Most High's calendar, we are going astray. But when we start trying to seek after the things that the Most High has given us, He is the one who can restore to us the proper order that has been lost. So that is why we do not partake in New Year's, and we shouldn't partake and celebrate that day, because it's of false deities, and it's just another piece of why we are living outside the alignment and the will of the Most High, when we are partaking in the things of the heathen and keeping their customs, and not seeking the ancient path of Yahuwah. So with that, I'm going to say shalom, and I hope this brief informational thing about New Year's was a blessing to you. Until we meet again, shalom.